What's up guys, Chris Veer here. Today we're going to be making a Pong game. So a Pong game is basically where you have a paddle and there's a ball that bounces all over the screen and you have an enemy paddle. So let's design our ball by simply changing the costume of our cat sprite. So we're going to delete this costume. So we're going to make a circle. So we're gonna make the ball circle. We're gonna make our ball orange and the outline to white. We're gonna rename the sprite to ball and same for the costume. So we're gonna make the backdrop also gray. So let's go back to the code and we want to make our ball move. So we want to go to events and add a when flag clicked, basically when we start the project. Move 10 steps. So let's click the green flag and let's see what happens. So we clicked the green flag, but the ball moved 10 steps and stopped right away. So we don't want that happening. We want the ball to keep on moving. So let's go to control and add a forever loop. So it's gonna move 10 steps forever. So let's click the green flag. And as you can see, the ball kept on moving. But it went through the edge too. So we want it to bounce off the edge. So we want to go to motion and add an if edge bounce. And we want to add this in the forever, because if we do not add it in the forever loop, it's the loop for the if an edge bounce block is just gonna repeat it one time. So we want to add it to forever. So as you can see, the ball now bounces off an edge and it keeps on moving. But we don't want the ball to keep on moving left and right. We want it to move all over the screen. So we're gonna add a point in direction block. We're gonna add a point in direction 45. So as you can see, the ball bounces all over the screen. So that's great. So now we want to create our paddles. So we're gonna duplicate this sprite. We're gonna rename it to paddle. We're gonna go to the costumes and we're gonna make a rectangle. We're gonna delete the circle sprite. So as you can see, the paddle is diagonal. We want it to be 90 degrees. So now it's shaped like a horizontal rectangle. So let's rename the costume to paddle also. Let's go back to the code and let's drag the paddle over here. So let's remove all of this. So we want to be able to control our paddle. So in order to do that, we're going to go to control, add a forever loop, go to motions, set X to mouse X. So it's going to go to the mouse, it's going to go to the X position of the mouse pointer. So let's test our project. So as you can see, we have our paddle now, but we want the ball to bounce if it touches the paddle. So in order to do that, we're going to go to the ball. We're going to add an if statement, go to sensing, and if touching paddle, then turn 180 degrees. Move 10 steps. So let's test it. So as you can see, we have our ball. The ball bounces off if it touches the paddle, but we have a problem. The ball keeps on going to the left if it touches the ball. So in order to fix that problem, we're going to go to operators and we're going to say pick random to 180 to 150 to 210. So turn either 150 degrees to 210 degrees. So let's test it now. As you can see, the ball doesn't turn at the same side if it touches the paddle. So that's great. So now we want our enemy paddle. So we're gonna duplicate this paddle sprite and we're gonna rename it to enemy paddle. So let's go to the paddle and let's copy the Y position of the paddle. Oops. Let's copy this and let's paste it here and instead a positive. So instead of setting X to mouse X, we want the enemy paddle to move to the X position of our ball instead of the mouse pointer. So we're going to remove the mouse X block and go to sensing, and we're going to add a backdrop number of stage. So instead of stage, we're going to say ball. So X position of ball, so we're going to drag this to set X to block. So now let's see how it goes. So as you can see, we have our enemy paddle moving. So that's great, but we want our ball to bounce off if it touches the enemy paddle too. So we're going to go to control and add an if-else statement. We're going to duplicate this. We're going to duplicate all of this and put this into here. And we're going to put this into here in the else slot and change this to enemy and pick random to a negative 150 to 210. Let's put this to here and let's see how our project goes. So as you can see, the ball bounces off the enemy paddle too. So that's great. But now it's gonna be hard to score because the enemy paddle goes at the same speed of the ball. So we want to go to the enemy paddle sprite and we want to add a wait 1 second. So as you can see, the enemy paddle, it's easy to score now. So that's great, but enemy paddle, it teleports. We don't want it to teleport, so we want to go to motion and add a glide block. So glide to X position of ball. So remove the set X to. So we have a problem. The ball, where we left off the game, the ball state is at that same position still. If we started the project again. So we want to go to the ball and add a go to 0, 0 block. So now let's see how it goes. So as you can see, it's easy to score now. But the paddle is waiting too long, so and it's moving very slow. So we want to, instead of 1 second, we're going to set it to 0.3, and same for waiting. So wait 0.3 seconds. So this game is getting more exciting. Alright, so now we want to add the winning or losing sign. So in order to do that, we're going to duplicate this. And we're going to remove this touching block. And let's go to operators. So let's add a less than. So if the Y position is of our ball is less than a negative 147, so that if you miss the ball with your paddle, then this is where we're gonna broadcast the lose. This is where we're gonna show the lose sign. So we're gonna duplicate this, and instead we're gonna say 147 when the enemy paddle misses the ball. So we're gonna add this to here, go to events, and broadcast a message. Duplicate this. Let's make a message. We're gonna say lose and win. So this one's gonna be win and this one's gonna be lose. So let's duplicate this sprite, and we're gonna remove this. So we're gonna add a when flag clicked. We're gonna say hide, because this sprite's gonna be our labels. So we're gonna say when I receive lose. We're gonna duplicate this. Say when I receive win, show, and show for each received blocks. Let's go to costumes. Let's add a text saying you won. Let's delete this paddle, and let's drag this to the center. Let's duplicate this, and let's change this to lose. So let's drag the label right over here. So let's go to the code, and we're gonna say switch costume. Oops, let's change the costume name to lose and win, and also the sprite name to label. Let's go back to the code. Let's add a switch costume to win, and let's go to control, because this is where we're gonna stop the game. So we want to add a stop all. This is gonna stop the project. So let's say, now I won because the enemy paddle missed the ball. So the ball keeps on going at the same direction when you start the game. So in order to do that, fix that problem, we're gonna go to the ball, and we're gonna duplicate this, pick random. So we're gonna say 45 to negative 45. Let's add this to point in direction, and now let's see how it goes. So that's it. That's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Smash that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, send a comment down below on what you guys would like to learn in future videos, and have a nice day.